Yeah, you're gorgeous.
Hi guys, we're here with Peter Sherlock to talk about all things Liquilift. Obviously you've seen it on the Beauty Agenteur's site in the shop. So happy to be collaborating with Liquilift and the lovely Peter, of course. So we're going to talk all about Liquilift because I know there's been a few questions about what it is, what it does, the effects, and skin types. Does it suit your skin type? And Peter is the expert on the brand, so he's going to talk to us all about it. Hi, Peter.
Hiya, Sarah. I love the website. It's brilliant. You've done
Oh,
such
thank
an amazing
you.
job. And
Well,
the Facebook page and everything. It's so nice that there's that specific community for exactly what you're doing because, you know, so many of these brands, they use teenagers in the advertising. And
exactly.
when you're like 40, 50, 60, you don't respond to that at all. So I
Yeah,
think it's
and
a clever move.
I think it's nice that we want to make everyone feel beauty confident as well. And I
Yeah.
think that's where the brands that are like working with you, that's where you guys come in. And I think it's really important that people understand that these brands aren't just about, you know, slapping on loads of makeup and just a quick fix cream. It's actually geared towards making you feel beauty confident. So,
Yeah, totally.
so
So,
anyway,
by the way,
yeah,
massive apologies. I know this was meant to be live, but I've got to get down to London to do filming unexpectedly. So I do apologise. So we've obviously pre-recorded this, but obviously put all of your comments down there and we will get back to you. So yeah, Liquilift was formed by myself and a very dear friend of mine and Sarah's called Tammy Hollis. And Tammy is basically one of the leading experts in aesthetic level beauty. So we're talking, she would go around Russia and she would train all different spas and really, you know, really expensive equipment. So not in any way criticizing a small little salon at the end of the road, but this would be huge spas and the likes of Harley Street places. And she was working so much on injectables and looking at different ways of obviously freezing the face, which was the big thing about 10 years ago when it first came in. But she wanted to create a product that was based on a combination of nature and science, which would actually, if you were having those injections, would keep the effects going for so much longer. Or it could be something that would mimic the look of surgery. In fact, let me just mention Tatler. We were actually featured in, obviously, the super glossy Tatler as being one of the few alternatives to plastic surgery. Now, when I first met Tammy, Liquilift didn't exist as a name, and she'd sent me a pot. And about a week later, she rang me and she said, "Did you try it?" And I went, "Yeah, it was really good." And she went, "You haven't tried it, have you?" And I went, "No." She went, "Because nobody that tries it." That's what you did as well.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I know. I had words with you about that one. I did. And then I did try it, and the results were so extraordinary that within about 3 weeks, we had the packaging all sorted, and we launched on a fabulous website called Cult Beauty. And we were there for a couple of years, and it was wonderful. They were so supportive.
But actually, just to say, Peter, as well, didn't they dub it, all the experts, industry experts, Cult Beauty, Tatler, Vogue, dubbed it as the facelift in a jar, didn't they? That's how they were.
Yeah, I mean, the press that we had was fabulous. And in fact, if you look on the website, you'll probably see quotes about that. What is it? Now, it's a very bizarre little creature, is Liquilift, because it doesn't really fit into any category that we have at the moment. When there's a drop down, people tended to put it in as a mask because of how you apply it. So let's talk about how it looks. Now, it comes in a beautiful box with the sleeve off, and behind the sleeve are all of the instructions.
Can you lift it up a bit? Sorry. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
So all of your instructions are inside this slide-on box. Plus, you've got your list of ingredients, and I know that you're all absolute ingredient junkies. And I know these ingredients are on your site, aren't they, Sarah?
Yeah, they are. So all the ingredients are on the site, but we'll quickly go into that as well, just to pull out some of the key ones after you've just explained what it actually is.
What you did.
Yeah.
So it's really, really simple. What I want you to do is cleanse your skin, pat the skin dry, do your toning, exfoliation, just a normal, proper cleanse. Now then, you take the jar, and the jar will contain 15 full intense treatments.
Okay.
And the jar, let me show you, beautiful packaging. The jar it's a really lovely consistency. It's like honey. And it has a lovely gloopy quality to it, like the stickiness of honey. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate it on me because I need to talk to you, and that's what you don't do when you're using this. And you take the smallest amount and you start spreading it over the face, upwards, always upwards against gravity. You know all this.
Yeah.
And
but when you put the smallest amount, like, because you just want a thin layer on the face, don't you?
A really thin layer.
Thin. Yeah.
Yeah, super thin. You won't get a better effect by using more, so it's just a waste of your precious money if you put on more than you need to. And you will get 15 full treatments or 30 expression lifts, depending on where your area is concerned on. For me, being in my 50s, my area of concern is around here, neck, scrawn, sagging, everything. Yeah. So anything that I can do to help me lift is brilliant.
So you can also put it on targeted areas, can't you? You don't have to do your full face, do you? Or...
Yeah, you'd have to always make sure that the whole area was joined up. So basically, you can do your full face, or you can do from there, and you go in between the eyes, around the eyebrows, and all the way up to the hairline. Because it's like the peptide matrix needs to knit together to lift the skin. Okay, so if you want to lift here, it has to be coming from there. Right. Think about how a really good facelift would be done.
Yeah.
And then what happens
is, towards the eye, would you? Sorry.
I would go as near as that. I would go slightly over the periorbital bone.
Right.
I wouldn't go too near. I'd probably keep a gap of maybe 0.5 centimetre.
Okay.
Yeah, just in case, but there are no contraindications for you using this on eye bags. I mean, it just removes them.
Right.
Now, this is the really important thing. You will feel a physical sensation, and you will feel your skin actually moving under as the product is starting to dry and set and work its magic. And this is what's really important. You've got to be away from the kids, away from the dog, away from phone calls, because you have to relax your face for 45 minutes. If you were to wash this off after 25 minutes, it's going to feel lovely and chewy and gorgeous. It won't be lifted. The peptides and the tannin actually take about 30 minutes to start really kicking in, and at their most potent between 30 and 40 minutes.
Okay.
So I would say 45 minutes to be sure. And by then you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, and it's sort of started to dry and it's started to crack.
Yeah.
That's all completely normal. What you do next, you go into your bathroom and you can shower it off. I just stand in the shower and just close my eyes and let it all come off. But you can move your face. And this is a really important thing. A lot of people think that it's going to be one of those quick fix products that you have to hold, that holds your skin and will eventually become quite flaky, and there'll be pilling and etc. etc. No, we had a query on Facebook about this.
Didn't we'll go to that one.
Yeah, it's not one of those. So what this is a super intensive treatment for your skin that will lift the skin for days, but nothing is left on your skin. Once you've washed it off, you can immediately put your foundation on. You can immediately put on anything that you wanted. You know, there's nothing on the skin because this has worked within the skin to plump the skin out. And that is the really massive key thing. So this is,
and that's, I think that's the most important thing here that we need to stress. This isn't like a cream or a mask. It's actually an intense treatment, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the effects on this one, I remember one of the journalists saying that it was like going to a premiere or going to a really posh party. You put your Spanx on. Yeah. And then you put your favourite gown or dress or whatever on.
That's
and then
such a good way of describing it, because it's so true. When I tried it would feel like
that. So Liquilift is like your Spanx, but then with your Spanx, when you take it off, we all know what happens. I've got one of those men's vests. And you look great when it's on, and then you take it off and everything goes, look.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
with Liquilift, it stays as it is. And it will stay like that for about 3 days.
Okay.
So what we recommend is using it maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, depending on how severe the issue that you may have. It may be a temporary thing, it may be a permanent thing, but we can sort it for you. And then go to once a week. I mean, it really is, it's super effective. I don't know anybody that's used this that doesn't fall in love with it, because it's very different. I don't believe there's anything else like that on the market that you can do at home, and particularly with this lockdown. I don't know about you, but I'm still keeping myself in lockdown. I go to work, but it's super safe. Do you know what I mean? So,
and also, people can't get, if they've got injectable appointments, obviously they're not happening right now, and you still want to feel good in lockdown. So, you know, this is a really good quick fix solution, but has such effective results, which I think is really important.
Yeah, I mean, I really couldn't believe it the first time I used it. I think it had been quite a heavy weekend.
Yeah, probably.
And we all have them, don't we?
Yeah.
And it may be a heavy weekend, nothing to do with drink or going out. It can just be worry or stress, or
exactly.
It's even the weather, you know, when it's really hot and you can't sleep and it shows in your face.
Yeah.
3/4 of an hour. But remember, I really do have to stress this. Don't move your physog. Don't move the face. As little as you can, and the more dramatic the results will be. And what I would say is, in this selfie generation,
take 45 minutes out, go in your room, wherever, lock the door, have your own time, and just sit
light a candle. Those candles you've got, Sarah, I've just ordered one of them.
Brilliant.
They look amazing.
They're another one that we need to talk about.
You know, and create that spa environment, that silent environment within your home.
Spa from home.
Well, we all used to before spas came in.
Yeah. So Peter, as well, can we just talk about some of the ingredients? What are the key ingredients, would you say, in the Liquilift?
The key ingredient is a patented ingredient called liftenin. And actually, when you see our box, you can see on the green stripe, it's given a really high priorities. Liftenin is, and basically what that is, it's a silicon taken from millet, and it's a tannin taken from the oak. And what they both do is they're both naturally astringent, and they will actually tell the skin with the peptides that they contain and the amino acids to stay tautened. So they educate your skin to be different to how it is. So when you wash it off, they're already in the skin, and your skin is all plumped out. As well as that, you know, we've got wonderful cucumber seed oil and aloe vera and lots of lovely, amazing naturals. Again, millet is natural, and obviously the tannin from the oak is natural.
I think it's so key that you just pointed out the natural ingredients. There are all
I love natural
ingredients. So
you know what? I never used to, Sarah. If it did the job, I was more than happy. And then the more research that you do and the longer that you're in the business, you think, why was I putting that into my skin? Which is exactly the same as putting something into your heart or into your liver or into your kidney. It's an organ. We only have the one face.
Everyone is really on the natural ingredients. So everyone who's watching this, please note that all the ingredients in here are natural. So just talking on the natural side of things, what sort of skin types would you say it suits? Because if you've got so even if you've got a bit of sensitive skin, it's just basically just an intense treatment with natural ingredients that would suit everyone's skin type.
It's lovely and soothing on sensitive skin, actually.
Okay.
Because of the cucumber and the aloe and the glycerin, which are all wonderful, sources of hydration. I don't know anybody that's ever had a reaction to this, because of course we would be the ones that would hear about it.
No,
We've never had a jar returned. We've never had it was making a false claim, or I didn't get on with it.
Yeah.
If there is one downside to it, I'll be completely honest, it is the time factor that you have
5 minutes.
That time. But I think, you know what, it's worth it for the results.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone wants to see results, don't they? I mean, I'd spend an hour and a half if I knew I was going to get the right result. So, and it's investing in yourself. And we're in lockdown, so you know,
Yeah,
perfect time to try it actually. So,
and also if you think about the fact that you're getting 15, literally smearing a thin layer all the way up, all to the ears, round to the hairline, round the eyes.
yeah,
you get 15 of those, and at £90, is that £6 a treatment?
exactly. And how much is an injectable like Botox or that?
Well, also, you know, if you were to go to a salon and get a hydrating facial, that would probably be 45 to 60.
Yeah.
Well, it could be more if you're in the capital or somewhere really posh. I mean, I'm in the Northwest, and people like a bargain around here, but people will spend a lot of money on beauty at the same time.
Yeah, especially
and,
in
my local salon, a facial is 68, 69, 70.
Exactly.
You know, and this is 15 really intensive treatments. By the way, you know, I mentioned that after about 4 minutes, it starts to dry, and don't be fearful of that, and don't be fearful of the physical reaction. Make sure that as soon as you put it on your face, you put the lid back on. Because if you pull it off, there's so many real actives in here. Just a little thing about lifting in, by the way. Do you remember, Sarah? Do you remember when Protect and Perfect by Boots came out?
Yes, I do.
And everyone went insane about it.
Yeah.
Waiting list, queues. That's because it contained lifting in. Now, I can't give away how much more we've got in there, but you can times it by a huge figure. So
that's good.
Yeah, it's basic.
Yeah. So
but all skin tones, all skin colours.
Yeah, perfect. So also in the range, you've got the daily moisturizer. So
yes,
you have one there, just like magic. So just explain what that does. So you've used your the intense treatment, and then do you go straight in with the moisturizer?
I mean, it depends what you're doing, really. It's so super moisturizing anyway.
Yeah.
You don't actually need to, but some people prefer to know that they've used their moisturizer. Now, this can be used the bioactive facelift can be used in conjunction with any existing skincare range that you have.
Yeah.
But what we wanted to do was do a wonderful intensive cream that also contains the lifting in. It's not as powerful because, you know, otherwise it would be too difficult to do.
Yeah.
But with this, you get a gorgeous, really lovely, rich, but like a souffle cream. And this contains loads of goodies like rose hip, you get your vitamin A and your vitamin E, and all the different vitamins in here. But this is a lovely, soft moisturizer. No SPF, by the way.
Right.
It's quite difficult to do SPF and lifting in the same product.
Okay.
And this goes on, as you can see, just like your normal moisturizer, but again, right up under the eyes, over the periorbital socket, just let it soak in. And you can use this day and night. And again, because of the huge amount of actives in it, just make sure that you put the lid straight back on. And what this will do is this will really help to maintain the lift that you've already got with the other products.
Yeah.
So it's a nice little story there. You've got
and the two. But say if you didn't want to use the intense treatment and you just wanted to go with the moisturizer, what sort of effects would you get? Is it a continued? If you keep using it, you'd see a difference.
You see and feel a difference. I can feel it working on me now because of the lifting in. Now, I don't actually drink. This is pop. I used to. And it was our Liquilift Christmas party. And let's say I was very, very much the worse for wear. And Tammy arrived and she went, "Feel awful, dear." And I looked like a fried shoe. And I looked dreadful. And she went, "The cream's arrived. The one, we've been working on it for ages."
Yeah.
I went, "Tammy, the last thing I want to do is think about cream."
Yeah.
It was about 8:30 in the morning in some little transport cab. Anyway, she tried it on me, on one half of my face. And I was like, that feel rotten. And then all of a sudden, after about 2 minutes, I could feel a really lovely, gentle lifting and tightening. So it's not the same concentration as the intensive treatment. Yeah. Otherwise, it'd have to be 45 minutes a day.
Yeah.
But no, this will give you that lovely lift. This is particularly popular with men, because obviously so many men have beards now.
Yeah.
So the intensive treatment will only work on hairless areas.
Okay.
So if you're a bloke, well, if you've got a beard, chances are you're not worried about your jowls anyway.
Yeah.
So for the guys, you would
It's
always get 30 expression lifts, because you'd go cheekbones, eyes, forehead, and 11s.
So when you say you get this sensation, you can feel your skin starting to, it doesn't hurt, does it?
Oh God, no. It never ever hurts. So I don't like pain.
No, me neither.
No, it's almost like somebody's holding it for you very gently, like an angel's finger.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
It's a really lovely sensation, because it's great if you're tired in the morning. It's great, you know, if you've got to run somewhere and you just want to put a cream on. And I mean, I genuinely can feel it working, and it's super soft. And once it's gone in, like with any good moisturizer, you can immediately apply any foundation, you know, whether it's oil based or mineral based.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. It won't impact on the effects that you have with the skincare, because I've never understood skincare that you can't use makeup over.
Yeah,
really.
I know. It sort of defeats the object sometimes, isn't it? Because routine and then puts their makeup on straight away. So
yeah. I mean, we're all having the odd makeup day, but really, this is about luxury, and it's about, you know, if you have like your Friday night Zoom bingos and quizzes, which so many people are doing now, people are getting dressed up.
Exactly.
You know, you don't want to be looking into the screen looking like a dropped pie, do you?
No, exactly. So when the actual daily cream, then the effects, they last all day, don't they? Or do you feel it? Yeah.
Yeah, so they last between sort of 8 and 12 hours. So if you put it on at 8 in the morning, and then you use it again as a night cream. But again, I must just stress, there is no SPF in it for the reason of the active ingredients they're lifting in. But any quality makeup these days, no. Well, we tried. We did actually try one with an SPF in, but it wasn't as. See, now I can feel it, particularly here, and it really does. It feels good. I like products, having been sold so many things that ended up being really, really rubbish.
Yeah.
And being forced to buy things because they were the latest big thing with the latest name behind them.
We've all been there, Peter. We've all done it.
We've all been there, haven't we? And I do love a gift with purchase, by the way. But
Clinique bonus time. That's what.
Oh, Clinique bonus time. I love that. I've been up and down escalators for that. I have. What's your favourite from the range, Sarah, from the Liquilift range of the two? Which one would you use?
Well, I actually swear by the intense treatment, because I love the way that it feels like it's working. And there's so many products out there that you keep using, and you don't know whether they're working or not. So it's sort of like an instant feeling you get on your skin, which makes it feel so much nicer that you're thinking, wow, you know, I did spend £90 on, which, you know, some people may say is a lot, but you know it's working. And if you're getting 15 treatments out of it, like we said before, it's actually worth the investment. And what I also like about it, it smells really nice as well.
Oh, the smell is gorgeous. That's the cucumber.
Yeah.
I was a massive I still am. I love the Body Shop. But when the Body Shop were obviously being hugely innovative with natural products, I just loved the very sort of fresh, clean, but very natural smell.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously, cucumber seed oil is really, really good source of vitamin C as well.
It's that aloe in it as well. So the skin feels really hydrated. And combined with the cucumber, so you get like a cooling effect. So even if you had redness as well, I think
it's brilliant for rosacea.
Yeah.
It's so cooling. All the products are, we basically, when we were working on this and finalizing it, we trialed it on people with slight dermatitis. I mean, obviously, if you have a very severe form of condition, we'd recommend that you spoke to your dermatologist or healthcare professional. You know, just send them, grab the ingredients maybe. But as I say, in the 3 or 4 years that it's been out, we've never had ever a return, and we're probably up to about, I don't know, 10,000 jars sold.
Yeah.
And at that price, and these days people are very vocal. People have a voice, don't they? They've got a platform from which to have a voice.
Yeah.
And believe me, they'd be complaining to me if they were complaining.
Yeah.
Instead, the reaction really that I've had with this, which has been quite overwhelming, is people saying, I didn't believe that skincare could do this.
Yeah.
Because people have been sold the lie in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think because my background is mainly beauty on shopping TV, it's quite interesting. You may not know this, but on beauty shopping TV, you can't make any claim that isn't true.
Right.
So if you were to go into a store, they can say, it can do this, it can do that, because nobody's listening.
Yeah.
There isn't, whereas on TV, even now, I'm very aware of what I can say and what I can't say, because to me, I'm doing a little broadcast, which of course it is.
Yeah.
So I never make a false claim, and I can tell you with 100% confidence that this range will work for you. And, if you wanted to start, I would say start with the mask, the bioactive facelift, the one that acts like a mask.
Yeah.
It's almost hard not to call it a mask.
Yeah.
Because there isn't a category
for it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's sort of set like a mask. But I think the key thing really is, those 45 minutes, and just let it do its magic. And it is magical.
Exactly.
Do you do selfies, Sarah Cyan?
I do a lot of selfies, Peter. What gave you that idea?
No idea, because you're so shy and retiring.
Oh, absolutely.
I would say go into your bathroom, wherever you've got a bright light, whether it's your kitchen, and take a photo 10 minutes before you put the mask on, and then take one an hour later. And if you can't see a difference, then
guys, why don't we do that as a challenge? So get yourself.
Yeah, brilliant idea. Yeah. The Liquilift challenge.
Exactly. I think that's quite a good idea. We could take Instagram by storm with that one. So just quickly.
Sorry, Sarah. Go on.
Sorry. If you were a bit worried about using it straight away from the jar to your face, obviously if you haven't used it before, you might be a little bit dubious. Would you do a little patch test on your just take a little bit before you try it and then put it on your hand or something? Or is there just nothing to be worried about with the lift in it?
There's nothing in there unless you have an allergy to aloe or cucumber or tannin. They're all of them are, well, very few of them. Of course, there is always somebody that's allergic to something somewhere on the planet. But I mean, everything that we put in there is there to either aid the hydration or the softness of your skin. And that's the other important thing. Once you've washed it off, and remember, you can be as vigorous as you want. There is no secret film. The peptide matrix that I was talking about before has gone into your skin. So your skin is lifting within the skin, not on the surface. So you can pull as many dab faces as you want. What was your question? I've forgotten now.
If you would
you do a patch test?
Yeah.
If you were to do a patch test, I'd always do one either just behind the ear there, or on the hand. But if you do it on your hand, actually, it's a really good thing.
Yeah, because I was going to say you could see the effects on like the wrinkles on your hands and stuff.
That's interesting you should say that, because my hands have a look at my hands. So there's not a line really on them. Yeah. And I haven't even put hand cream on since this morning. My hands were dreadful. They were really old. And then what I started doing, there was a little trick that I was taught just a few years ago. With any product that you're using on your face, literally anyone, be it a serum, be it an oil, if you've got any excess on your hands, just simply wipe it there. And then if you just rest your hands for a few minutes. Now, it's quite hard to keep your hands still for 3/4 of an hour.
I was going to say 45 minutes.
But the excess, what that will do is, even if you let it dry and leave it on for 10 minutes, you're still going to be getting that aloe, that cucumber seed, the glycerin, all those wonderful hydrators that are going to plump your skin up anyway.
Well, we like that insider tip there from you.
Thank you very much
for that little insider tip for your hands.
Well, I think it's, and people are always really mean about, like, say, Jane Fonda or Joan Collins's hands, despite the fact that they're in their 80s.
Yeah, exactly. Give them a break.
years ago, Sarah, there was a lady actually who was the trainer for Clinique.
Yeah.
And she was left-handed, and she would always wipe any excess onto her hand. And one hand, her left hand,
Really
was
smooth. Wow.
well, no, that was the one that she applied with. So that one was covered in age spots, whereas this one, just from having any product on your hands, because we do ignore them. Are you doing a hand cream? Yeah.
I actually use coconut oil. I use coconut oil just because
Very nice.
I just find it's really smoothing, it hydrates, it does everything. I use it on my my cuticles, on my nails, and I noticed that they grow a lot more. So, you know.
Oil's brilliant. I love a good oil, me.
Well, we're nearly at the end because we're running out of time, I'm afraid.
Oh, I like rattling on with you,
Peter, and I'm sure we'll have loads more comments. So Peter and I are here to answer any questions. But also, if you do want a one-to-one Zoom a Zoom thing with Peter, I'm sure he will. He'd love to do that. So just get your comments below, and then we can arrange that on the website or by email.
And I might even wear trousers for that.
Yeah, yeah, you might. I wasn't going to ask you what you were wearing.
No, I've got some rather lovely parrot-covered shorts.
Oh, fabulous! Give us a look.
Hey.
I mean, you've doubled up on the different patterns, but you know,
Oh,
Peter,
dear.
as long as you're happy.
Oh, dear.
But thank you once again, Peter.
My pleasure. It's been great fun.
We'll do some more as we move forward. So hope that you guys will try it out. It is fantastic. It's absolutely brilliant. And like Peter said, they've had no returns. Everyone just loves it. So give it a go. Definitely.
Fabulous.
All right,
Lovely spending time with you. My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.